Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Brenda if you're new here. If not, welcome back to this channel. This is a type of format I'm planning on making more in the future, as you know, there's just a lot of things I can't afford. We're obviously doing this for the fun of it, okay? We're doing this for the funsies. Because why would you spend 100 euros on a cardigan when you could spend 140 euros on yarn and invest another 30 hours of unpaid labor into making one yourself, huh? Don't be silly. So that's what today's video is about. It's about creating, or more like recreating, pieces from clothing brands that I cannot afford or don't want to invest in, because I feel like making something like this cardigan we're making today, or like not today, I will be making this in the course of the following weeks, but the entire purpose of this is to create pieces that are of higher quality, and yeah, they're just gonna have a better fit than something you purchase from a clothing brand, you know, that's not made for your body specifically, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. So the item I decided to start this whole entire journey with is the Gaspard Cardigan by Sézane. So the original cardigan is made out of super kid mohair, baby alpaca, and polyamide, which is an okay composition. There's nothing bad there except for maybe the polyamide, but you know, sometimes for certain type of garments you do need a little bit of a little synthetic something to add more stability to your garment, which I don't blame anyone for using polyamide or acrylic or nylon in their yarn. It's just, for me personally, I do like all natural fiber garments because I just feel like it's best for the skin and for the environment, but I can totally get why you would put something synthetic in there. For me personally, I decided to recreate this cardigan out of 100% cashmere yarn, which is what I have here beside me. This is the Cashmere Verde by Lana Grossa. I have already talked about this in one of my previous videos, so excuse me if I'm repeating myself. But yeah, this is again 100% cashmere. It's 25 grams per ball of yarn and it runs 90 meters. Yes, and this yarn is also the one I made the sweater from that I'm wearing right now. This is actually my boyfriend's sweater. It's the Hans Tolm pattern by Petrichor.Knitwear, and it's obviously too big for me, and I want something you know, of my own out of this yarn, so that's why I'll be making this cardigan. Now, the Gaspard cardigan comes in a ton of different colors, and I decided to make mine in this beautiful navy. Again, it's the same color as my boyfriend's sweater, so we're gonna have a little matching moment. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, and I decided to pair it with this other... Alright, my microphone decided to give up on me at this point, so here's a voiceover of me trying to explain and trying to remember what I said here, but honestly I have no idea what I said because it's been way too long already, but I'm gonna try. So I think I was just showing you the colors. I again am using a beige, which if you're interested is number 2, and the navy one is color number 13. And yeah, I think I was explaining here why this project is a little bit special to me, because again, this is kind of marking the beginning of a series I'm planning on making on this channel with, you know, me recreating designer pieces. Yeah, this is just the first one, and even though the price point is really not making any sense, because my cardigan ended up being more pricey than the Gaspard cardigan, you know, compared to me just buying that one. But again, you know, I'm not going to repeat myself here. I have told you why I decided to knit it and not buy it, but yes. So the reason why this project is a little bit special to me is because I will be working full-time from September on, and until then I just want to create some really nice pieces I can wear to work. So I basically want to create a wardrobe for myself in which I will be taken seriously in an office environment. And I was also complaining a little bit about the yarn I used here because of the fact that this is a more pricey yarn, and you know, it's cashmere. You would have kind of high hopes for it, even though on the scale of like cashmere yarns, this is on the more affordable side compared to other cashmere yarns. But still, it's it's on the pricier side, you know, just compared to other yarns in general. So you would have high expectations when working with this, and I noticed a little something that was bothering me in this entire process, which is that the navy yarn is a little more thicker than the beige yarn. So I was really happy with working the navy one on 4mm. That looks great. Again, I was also really happy with the sweater I made for my boyfriend, and I think that turned out great. But when I incorporated the beige yarn into my cardigan, I realized that it was a little bit thinner, and compared to the navy one, it just didn't create a dense of a fabric as the navy one did. So I don't really know if anyone else would really notice that when looking at the cardigan, but I surely can, and it's again bothering me a little bit, but not too much to not wear the cardigan. That would be silly, of course. So yeah, but that's just a small note on the side. So I was also thinking I'm obviously not going to create a pattern for this cardigan because I just don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to make a pattern for this cardigan, but if you wanted to use this video as a guide to recreate your own, I am also listing here a few yarn alternatives that I think could work pretty well in case you're more on a budget. And here's a little sneak peek on future projects of this little series I'm doing here. So there will be, for example, the totem sweater. It's gone pretty viral in the past couple months on like the Instagram knitting community, whatever, and I really like that sweater, and I'm gonna recreate that. Actually, that might be the next one in this series, so stay tuned for that. So I'm actually planning on knitting up all of these things, and if you know of any other designer piece that might be a nice addition to this series, please let me know in the comments and I might change my plans. So I've been thinking about what I want the construction to be like, and listen, I'm a simple girl. If there's a possibility of knitting something from the top down, maybe even raglan seamless in the round, I will do it. But there's an issue, the fact that this is a cardigan and not a sweater. So there's obviously no way of knitting this in the round unless I want to steek it, and I've never done that before, and I just feel like this project, specifically because it is cashmere yarn, I just don't want to play around with it. Really, I don't want to ruin it. So I'll have to knit this flat, and I'm kind of okay with that. I just I don't really do that on such small needles. But it's definitely something I can do. So I'll most probably do a drop shoulder. I still want it to be a top down cardigan. That's definitely doable. So yes, I've just kind of been thinking about what type of constructions I've done before. And I have knitted the chestnut sweater by Petite Knit, and also the cardigan number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, which is also, they're like both, so the one's a cardigan and the other one is a sweater, but just for like the general construction, they're both worked from the top down, and they both have drop shoulders, which is what we want. The gauge would work on the chestnut sweater. Yeah, I might do that. I think that would be the easiest way to go about this. But I think one issue I'm going to run into here is that the chestnut sweater does have a bigger amount of positive ease, and as I said earlier, I don't really want it to be super oversized, which the chestnut sweater definitely is more on the oversized side. So yeah, I might still have to create my own kind of pattern, but that shouldn't be too hard. Also, I luckily don't have to knit up a gauge swatch because I, again, have already worked this sweater in the exact same yarn and on the same needle size, so I already know my gauge, which, in case you're interested, is 20 stitches and 29 rows as like a 10 by 10 centimeter square. And I want it to be approximately 15 to 20 centimeters of positive ease. Yeah, I'm gonna check the measurements also on the chestnut sweater. I guess that's the first step we have to do. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically laying flat some sweaters I already own and try to measure their circumference and try to figure out whether I could take their patterns as a guide or not. And to my disappointment, they're a bit too big, and I made the smallest size on either of them. So that's not gonna work because I just checked, and the chestnut sweater by Petite Knit, which is a drop shoulder top down sweater, so I was really hoping it would work out, but the bust for the smallest size is already at 232 stitches, which is just way too much for what I'm planning on doing because I again don't want it to be super oversized. So my bust circumference is at 83 centimeters. I wanted to have, let's say, 10 centimeters of positive ease, a maximum of 15, and at 10 centimeters we would be at 186 stitches. So that's quite a difference there. I'm gonna try to figure out what to do. Also, I just checked on the Sézane website, and they, as I said, don't sell this exact cardigan that I showed you earlier anymore, but they do still sell the overall cardigan just in different colors, and they have a version that's also striped, but the stripes are kind of arranged differently, and now I'm still kind of debating whether I want to have like all over stripes that are a little bit smaller, or a little bit larger stripes that start at a lower point. Also, I have no idea. Like, I would love to cast on immediately, but I have no idea how I'm gonna make the bottom band, and that's kind of an important decision to make before casting on, so that I know in terms of ease, like how much to cast on, how much will still be added because of the button band if I decide to do one. I do want this to be a cardigan, obviously, but I want to wear it more like a sweater, just like as the models do in the pictures. They basically wear it like you would wear a sweater, and I think that's really cool, and that's what I want. I just don't know if that would work with an I-cord, or maybe I should do a double knitted button band. I still have to figure that out. So I've been looking for some inspiration on like Ravelry and Petite Knit's website and My Favorite Things Knitwear and some other designers that have come to my mind, which was unsuccessful. So yeah, I have to do this completely from scratch, which is also fine. So that's what I've been trying to do, which is trying to figure out the maths. And what we have so far is this. I don't know if this sketch makes any sense, but basically this is the top of the cardigan. That's like the stitch count for the back. This is the front. That's obviously divided because it's a cardigan, and just ignore that sleeve, it's misplaced. But yeah, I decided to go up from 186 stitches to 192 stitches, which equals a circumference of 96 centimeters, which will give me a positive ease of 13 centimeters, which is absolutely fine for me. And yeah, I definitely want to incorporate some German short row shaping, which is what I try to show in this sketch. So basically, when you work a drop shoulder top down, you want to cast on these stitches here, which will be 96 stitches for me, and then you have to figure out how to work the German short rows, which for me will be I slip the first 31 stitches from my left needle to my right needle, and then work 34 stitches, which will be those stitches here, and then I turn my work, which means I will have 31 stitches left. And then you want to work your way back on the wrong side and basically always keep turning like 2 stitches before, or like 2 stitches after your previous turn, I believe. I'm gonna figure that out somehow, but in theory this should work. Here we are right now. Doesn't look like much yet, but I still thought I'd show you. I'm in the middle of the round right now, so don't be confused. So basically I casted on the 96 stitches, then I cut the yarn, I slipped the first 31 stitches from the left needle to my right needle, then I joined in the new yarn, and then I worked 34 stitches, then I turned my work so that I had 31 stitches left, and I basically purled to 2 stitches after where I had joined the yarn. And that way you're just kind of working yourself from the inner few stitches to the outside, and that will create this tapered look, I guess you could call it. I hope that makes sense. If you've worked German short rows before, you know what I'm talking about. If not, this probably just sounded really complicated, which it's really not. I can link a video down below on like how to work German short rows in general. So yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna work the tapered part and then I'll get back to you and show you what I got. I am so incredibly happy with how this is turning out. I'm so happy with my tension. Look at how even it looks. Honestly, this little trick I'm going to show you right now is a game changer. So when I'm on the right side, when I knit the stitches, I'm using the 4mm needle, which is also what my entire gauge is based on. But when I purl, I use a 3.5mm needle. And the reason for that is because I tend to knit looser when I purl my stitches compared to when I knit the stitches. So that just kind of evens it out, because if I would knit both sides on 4mm needles, I would get a kind of wonky and uneven stitch definition, and I just don't want that. And with this, I'm just really happy. Yeah, it's looking great. It looks a little bit small right now, I would say, but you know, if anything goes wrong, we can most likely even it out by blocking it, hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't know. I know that this sweater, the sweater I'm wearing right now, did grow quite a bit when blocking it, so we're gonna cross our fingers and just wait and see. I think it should be all right. It's working. Okay. Hi. It is day 3 of working on this cardigan. Let me show you how far I got. Doesn't look like much yet, but we're getting there. It also looks a little bit small in my opinion, but I checked my gauge and it's a little tighter than the one on the sweater I was wearing the other day. And again, I know it will relax and stretch a little bit with blocking, so I'm currently at 22 stitches per 10 centimeters, and the other sweater was 20 stitches per 10 centimeters, so it is quite a big difference, in fact. So that's 2 stitches per 10 centimeters, and these are approximately 40, 45, I don't know. So it will definitely be wide enough. This is obviously the back part now, but just so you can kind of see what I'm saying, this will relax and then it will be a drop shoulder eventually. Really happy with the stitch definition and the colors and everything. I think it looks really good. And yeah, I'm currently working this part here, which I'm basically knitting up a tiny bit more until I cut the yarn, and then I'll pick up the stitches for the shoulder sleeves, like for the front parts, and then I'll work some increases around here so that there will be a round neckline, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. And because I messed up the increases, I decided to go to one of my favorite websites, which is called Fiddle. It's a great website you can use to create charts for free. I will absolutely link it down below in case you're interested in that. But yeah, I'm a visual girly, what can I say? I really needed to visualize the increases before getting started, and it worked out in the end. Hi there, I haven't spoken to you in a while. As you may have seen, I have encountered a small issue, and the issue being I ran out of yarn, and that's not a small issue at all. Yeah, I ran out of yarn, I think about a week ago, and today I was finally able to order new yarn, and I'm even getting the same dye lot, so that's amazing. And it shouldn't take longer than maybe 3-4 days to get to me, so that's really good. And I ordered 3 more balls. I actually have to knit up a small part of the cuff, or like the sleeve, and then the I-cord on that, and also do the I-cord around the entire edge. Because it's not going to have any button bands, I will put an I-cord all around. So yeah, I'm just gonna hope 2 balls is gonna be, or like 3 is gonna be enough. Because I also debated whether I want to knit it a little bit longer, but we'll see. I might have to order more. It might also be enough. We will see. Hi there, I wanted to show you the cardigan. I managed to finish the sleeves last night, so that's amazing. I ordered 3 more balls of yarn, and I managed to get the same dye lot, which I was very happy about. I'm just gonna show you. As I said, I finished the sleeves. I know the body still looks kind of short, and I'm still thinking about adding some length. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just figure that out as I go, I guess, because I want to give it a wash and block before I decide whether or not to add some length. So here's the current situation. So I put the stitches on the bottom on hold, which means I didn't bind off or anything. They're still live stitches. So if I decide to add some length, I can just simply do that. And I also went out today to get some buttons, and I had the hardest time trying to decide for buttons. I actually wanted to recreate it as close as possible to the original, and that's why I went for these buttons. I think I've been in that store for like half an hour just looking at all the buttons they had. These are just some really nice, simple, they're like not pearlescent really, but they're kind of shiny and they reflect the light really nice, and they're this kind of grayish color, but also I don't know, it really depends on the light. But yeah, they're kind of grayish. So my concern is that they're not your regular button. They have this hole at the back. Like there's no holes in the front. I'm really bad at explaining this, but I figured this would give the whole cardigan or sweater a more modern look, because those like your average buttons with the 4 or 2 holes, I feel just look more traditional. This one I feel like will give the cardi a more modern touch. My main concern is with this hole in the back. Yeah, I basically will have to kind of force it through both layers, because I want to sew it down only at the back, like here. Oh my goodness, I'm already having troubles. Like this, I want to sew it down, and so that you're or like I'm not going to be able to open it in the front, because again, I want to wear it as a sweater, and I really don't know if that's going to work out the way I want. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna wait and see. And as you can tell, I still have to add the I-cord around the edges, so that's also something to do. Alright, so I will start adding the I-cord around the edges in a second, but I just tried it on. You could see that a second ago. So my boyfriend suggested that I should make this segment at the bottom as long as the other ones, which I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place, but yeah, right now when I'm wearing this with high-waisted jeans, the edge really is like this much over the edge of the jeans, if that makes any sense. So I wouldn't mind if it were a little bit longer. So what I'll do now is add a little bit of length so that I have also 14 rows in here, just like I have in between all the other segments. So yes, I will do that, and then I will add the I-cord.